Hey everybody, it looks like we've got three in here. I definitely know Dirk's in here. He is the first one in the chat. Um, Sorry for my hair is kind of going crazy tonight. The best I can do is try to brush it and make it look halfway decent. Um, but I'm gonna turn this on the back on the solo layout. I don't think it really matters when I'm on here by myself, but it might matter if I add somebody. But anyways, and again, for anybody that's listening, and watching this, if at any point in time tonight you want to, Texas says I've got Russian spies. Yeah, these are getting more and more inventive all the time, Texas. Um, But I was gonna say, if at any point in time that anybody wants to join in, just let me know and I will send you the link. I always say the more the merrier. Uh, Again, I'd like to remind everybody that Saturday I'm still planning on starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to be doing a watch along for Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, aka Night Warning. Um, So I know that Movie Junkie John has already expressed an interest in being on the stream. Anybody else that wants to be on the stream, if John's on there, I'll have 8 more slots um, to fill. So feel free. And again, no matter what Wes says, you do not have to be on camera. I am not requiring it because, especially during a damn watch along, because most of the time during those watch alongs, people are going to be paying attention to the movie. They're not really going to be paying attention to who's on the camera, but they might be paying attention to what you say during the movie. So that is why, now if somebody wanted to come on here and not even be on audio, now that would be useless. But if you've got something to say and you want to be audio only, I totally don't have a problem with that. Um, I will warn everybody that as I said on these other streams, and you probably think, gee, Dana, you're going ahead and doing streams. But this has been a rough week health wise. Today, I am really just wiped out. I think it's because I've been dealing with more, not extremely high fevers, but they're high enough that they register when I take my temp. So I've been keeping a fever chart just in case that is needed to show anybody. I guess I'm going to have to check with the um, HR department to see if they got my paperwork. My doctor says that she both faxed it and emailed it to the email address that was on this paperwork. So if tomorrow I say, hey, did you guys get my paperwork from my doctor? I'm going to be really pissed if they tell me they didn't, because that means I'm going to have to get with my doctor and possibly have her email it to me so that I can email it to them. Because I figure they're going to try to play some kind of shitty game with me where they tell me they didn't get it or something. Says you said that's like asking someone if they sell blank use cassettes. Exactly. Exactly. Um, looks like we got 6 people in here at least watching. I only see, of course, Texas and Dirk in the chat. Um, but let's see. What else have we got coming up? I just want to just put out reminders out there. The first Saturday of October, we're going to be having a maximum overdrive um, watch along. The first Sunday of October, we're going to be doing Texas's pick. I got it right this time, Texas, of Don't Go in the House. So you can look forward to all of those things coming up. Of course, we're going to have our final week of Argento versus Fulci next Tuesday. And then we will also be having on Wednesday another Cheese Extreme Wednesday. So yeah, you guys can look forward to all of that. And I think what I'm gonna do and also for the benefit of you guys that are in here early, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick the following Saturday's watch along. Dirk, you say you thought we were doing Hereditary. Well, how about this, Dirk? Because I relented and said that I would do a watch along for. I gotta find my list here. I've got to. I relented and said I would do one for that damn Evil Dead remake. So here's what I'm gonna do, Dirk. I am gonna add officially. You see me writing this, right? Hereditary to the list. I don't know if you can see that. You see that there at the bottom underneath the last slumber party, Dirk? Now, I'm not telling you which week we're going to do it because you know me, I'm probably going to hold out forever long on both that one and Evil Dead 2013. Dirk, you say, hell yeah. Oh, Lordy. We got to put that up there. I've made Dirk happy. So I am going to go ahead and pick one for the following Saturday after this coming Saturday. And I think I'm just going to take a stab at this one. What would you guys say about Savage Streets? Because I know that's one that Darren brought up, and I don't know if he's going to be able to be in here tonight, but I'm thinking I'm leaning towards Savage Streets. And then after that, I'm thinking maybe the last slumber party. I think that was one maybe McCarr brought up. So we're gonna do Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker this Saturday. The following Saturday. Well, okay. Whichever Saturday we're not doing Maximum Overdrive. Let's see. I'm going to have to look at a calendar. Hold on just 1 second, guys. I need to have my ducks in a row before I start mentioning movies. So we can do Savage Streets the last Saturday of September. And then, of course, the first Saturday of October, we're doing Maximum Overdrive. And then the following Saturday after that, I'm thinking the last Slumber Party. So, let's see. So, Texas, you say that's cool with me. Hey, Millect. Hey, TJ, you say howdy. I like Savage Streets, one of Linnea Quigley's best roles, in my opinion. She really acts in it, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, I do, TJ. Texas, you want to see the first slumber party? What about middle of the road slumber party? What about that one? And Texas, you say LOL, TJ. So you guys can look forward to all of those things coming up. Oh, wow. We have 7 people in here. I didn't really know if I was going to have many in here tonight. And the fruit flies they keep on returning, don't they? They keep spawning. Uh, I didn't really know if I'd have very many in here tonight because I didn't know if the topic would pique anybody's interest or not. Because might be thinking, well, geez, Louise, Dana, we won't talk about movies. That's shitty. And I wasn't expecting this many in here, so I thank you guys for showing up. Texas, you say I saw the middle of the road slumber party. Hey, 71 KJC. I may just call you 71 if that's all right. I sometimes get tongue tangled sometimes when I'm saying some of these names. TJ, you said my friends always make fun of her dragging out her words. LOL. You ever fantasize? So 71, you said that's good. Okay, cool. So okay, so the topic of tonight's show is, in case you guys didn't already notice, is the Uncool show. And I got to thinking about this kind of like just this evening, or this afternoon rather. And I thought, I don't think I've ever talked about how I feel utterly uncool sometimes. And if anybody noticed, the pictures I used to advertise the stream were from the film Almost Famous, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Not a horror movie, but a music movie, a coming of age story, whatever you want to call it, all the above, It has some kick ass music in it, so much so that for those of you that were in here when I was showing the album set that has like 5 or 6 LPs in it, that's got, pretty much all the music from Almost Famous. Plus, it has, some extra stuff. It comes in a great big old box. I don't even know where I'm going to store the damn thing, but I got to thinking about, out of all the actors and actresses, the great actors and actresses that feel Almost Famous, I would think, I almost, yeah, I'm going to say it. Philip Seymour Hoffman has the best lines in it. There are all kinds of great lines, but the lines that Philip Seymour Hoffman says in the film really resonate with me. Because he talks about being uncool all the time. And he says things like, I'm always home, I'm uncool. And one of the really great ones is one that I used, that's on the picture. It said, one of the only currencies in this bankrupt world or whatever. Um, let me hold on just a second. I want to quote it right, so hold on just a second here. Well, I was going to look at. I'm crazier than a bed bug. Okay, the only true currency in this bankrupt world is what you share with someone else when you're uncool. That is that is a classic line. I don't care what way you slice it. And the other quote I have, although not as great as the currency one, is when they're in the restaurant and he's talking about things being an industry of cool, and he's talking about rock and roll and how rock and roll has been ruined. And then he says the day it ceases to be dumb is the day it becomes real. So it's just really, really great lines. I mean, I like the bankruptcy or the currency one the best. Um, but that seems to be a theme that keeps going through the film. Generally, every time William talks to Lester Bangs' character, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, he invariably ends up talking about, I'm uncool, we're both uncool. Um, but at the end of that movie, William gets his article written and he gets credit, because that's another thing that Lester Bangs, the character of Lester Bangs, tells William, is to not let them rewrite him. Um, and he has to be honest, that he'll make his reputation on being unmerciful, honest and unmerciful. So sometimes when we do that, it gets us in Dutch, doesn't it? And and people might think we're uncool because we kind of lay it on the line. And isn't that what we do with movies sometimes? Is, especially if we're really passionate about it, we will talk about this movie that we're so passionate about, and you don't care if the whole world is against you on this movie. This is your movie. And I'm not talking about Almost Famous, because I think almost everybody loves Almost Famous. I have yet to find a person that doesn't like that movie. But I'm talking about, like, you hear me talk about Final Exam and Terror on Tour, and I could go on and on and on. And I really don't care if the whole rest of the world would hate these movies. They hold a special place in my heart, and I'm always happy to watch them. So that's kind of where I was going with the uncool thing, is even though there might be some things that we like that other people think are uncool, or might think we are uncool for liking them, that's okay. Because I'm still gonna like them regardless of whether somebody thinks I'm cool or not. I'm way past the days where I want to be cool. So I think I'll like any damn movie I want to like, or I'll dislike any damn movie I want to dislike. And I feel like a lot of you guys that come to these streams feel similar. I'm going to stop talking here and like, um, 71, you say, I like the uncool people. Sometimes the uncool people are the best people. TJ, you say, I'm always the uncool one. LOL, don't argue with me. Texas, you say, they're the uncool. You'll meet them all on their journey to the middle. Exactly. Another great line from the movie. Dirk, you say, I like to say outcast of the outcast, but I'm cool as fuck in my mind. Fuck what everyone else thinks. But see, Dirk, too, that's a healthy attitude to have. Um, I wish that I could say that, but I've never actually been able to say that. So I have made my peace with being uncool. Um, I wish I could be as strong as like you are to say that, but I can't ever envision myself being strong enough to say that. And I highly respect you for taking a stand on that. And I know there's a lot of good natured humor in that statement, Dirk, but I get the feeling that you are a lot stronger person than I consider myself to be. 71, you say, I'm an outcast that sometimes hangs with the cool people, but prefer other outcasts. Yeah, I prefer hanging with the uncool people. Um, I've, you know, in my life, the cool people that I have hung out with have usually been the what we would call popular people in school, for instance, that would have conversations with everybody. They weren't like the ultra elite or anything that thought that they were too good to talk to the likes of me. Um, Texas, you said that movie is one of mine and Blissful's favorites. That movie was one of our first bonds. You know what? One of Steve and I's first bonds was movie wise was Grindhouse. Um, especially the Death Proof segment. And so we have other movies too. You know, our love of Fulci movies, Argento movies, stuff like that. You know, I never thought that I would find someone who I love so much that would like all of this stuff. You know, we kind of battle it out now about some of these newer movies, but the old stuff, you know, stuff like that. Steve's not as big into slashers as he probably once was, but you know, I don't think he'll ever lose his love of Argento, Giallo movies, Fulci stuff, you know, etc., etc. 71, you say that that's romantic. It is. It really is. You know, one of the first movies that Steve and I actually watched and did a commentary for back when we were dating was Roadhouse. So although I always liked Roadhouse a lot, after that experience with Steve, we had so much fun doing that. Um, and of course, both of us were drinking a little bit during it, but it's something that I won't ever forget. It was a very enjoyable evening that we had. Oh, Texas, you say today is our 1 month anniversary, even though we've known each other since 2006. Well, happy anniversary. Wow, 71, you've never seen Almost Famous? I highly recommend that movie. And TJ, you haven't seen it either? Wow. You know, I do. I highly recommend that movie. If you've never seen it, you know, I'm not saying go out and buy it necessarily, but see if you can watch it for free somehow. You know, borrow it from a friend that has it already. I agree, Texas. It is fantastic. TJ, you say terrible sentence I wrote there, LOL. Well, believe me, TJ, I'm not going to correct anybody's grammar. 71, you say, I found some bats to let loose during your walk down the aisle. That would be so awesome. I've never seen anybody do that. Dirk, you say, hell yeah, Dana, love what you love no matter what. Mad respect. I love Death Proof too. But let me ask you this, 71, because this is a debate that Steve and I have, and we always have had. Is out of the two groups of girls that are in Death Proof, which group of girls do you like best? I always like the second group of girls. Um, not the Austin girls, but the second group. Um, and Steve always likes the group with Jungle Julia. He likes the Austin ones. Those are his girls. But I always like the second group of girls, even though one of them doesn't even go out in that car with them, the Challenger, and doesn't go up against Kurt Russell's character. Um, I still like that group. I mean, they just seem more badass than the others. I think well, no, I don't think I've seen Harold and Maude. I need to watch it. I've seen Mickey and Maude. Have you ever seen that with Amy Irving and Dudley Moore in it? That's a fun movie. Texas, you say Grindhouse rules. Dirk, you say you're cool with me, Dana, and that's cool as hell. Well, you're cool with me too, Dirk. You're just one of those awesome people that you only, it's lightning in a bottle. I mean, actually, all of you guys that come on a regular basis to my streams, I think that you're all part of that lightning in a bottle thing. And I am grateful for each and every one of you. You like the Austins too? I may be in the minority there, maybe. Really, TJ, I hadn't actually heard him say that he doesn't like Death Proof, but that's interesting. That's Yes, Dark. Zoe is badass. I met Zoe Bell. It's been a lot of years. It was way back early in Steve and I's dating days, and we met her, and she was awesome. Um, Steve also met Jordan Ladd. I was there, but I didn't actually talk to her like he did. But Texas say I saw Mickey and Maud decades ago. Yeah, that's an old one. 71, you say I saw Mickey and Maud when I was a lot younger. TJ, you said the girl they leave with the creepy dude in Death Proof when they go drive the car is a totally different movie. They left her with the pervert, which is kind of cringy when you think about it. Yep, it is. Um, yeah. Well, I think actually, um, I think Zoe Bell is from New Zealand, and I think they make that whole big joke about um one of the girls calling her an Aussie or something, or saying something about Australia, and they bring up the fact that she's from New Zealand. Yeah, that's right, TJ, New Zealand. Yeah, that's it. But they do. I mean, I can't help but say they do sound alike, the Australians and the Kiwis or whatever you want to call them from New Zealand. 71, you say I always get that screwed up, and people, New Zealand hate that. Um, I did want to talk about, I have had a chance to dip into the 4Ks that I got. And y'all feel free to just keep chatting away in here. I'm going to put TJ's comment up here. Zoe did all of Uma Thurman's stunts in the Kill Bill movies. Exactly, TJ. Um, I love it because TJ is always like, he's trivia man. He's always got that extra oomph when it comes to trivia. But like I was saying, you guys go ahead and continue to keep chatting in there. I am going to glance back and forth at the chat. But I did want to talk about my 4Ks that I got in Tuesday. I got 3 in, and I've had a chance to take a look at all of them at this point. Now, I know we talked a little bit about the Friday the 13th 4K the other night, and Darren said that Pizzout, I guess, said on one of his streams that this particular 4K did not look good in comparison with the Blu-ray. And I had to politely disagree with that, even though I'm sure Pizzout doesn't care what my opinion is on this movie. But I thought it looked awesome. And I actually took some pictures, some screenshots last night and the night before. I was able to finish it up last night without falling asleep during it. Um, And for anybody that's my friend on Facebook, you more than likely saw those pictures. And even Wes told me, um, and I don't think he was being sarcastic. I think he was being honest. He said, "You were right about that." He said he watched it on Voodoo, and he said, "Wow." So again, I don't know if it's like what Darren said. Perhaps maybe Pizal's TV settings or something wasn't set just right. But and I'm not saying that, there were several of you guys that said that you were happy with your Screen Factory Blu-rays. And that is totally fine. But I'm merely saying this to people that might be on the fence about getting it. I know Dirk is waiting for a steel book, which I'm like Dirk. I pretty daggone sure they're going to come out with a steel book of it eventually, and I'm also convinced that a 4K package with all the movies will be coming at some point. So I'm probably being kind of foolish to buy them separately now, but you know me, I just can't wait. Um, TJ, you say Tarantino basically said of all his movies back in 2012, Death Proof was the one he likes the least. I'm paraphrasing. But that's interesting. Do you know what interview that was, TJ? I'd like to watch that or read it or whatever. Yeah, that's right, Texas Scheme Factory. Um, so again, I'm not telling everybody, hey, you're not a fan of Friday the 13th if you don't go out and get this Paramount 4K. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, uh, for me, watching it on our 72 inch or whatever 4K TV, I thought it looked awesome. I will definitely be revisiting again soon. Paramount sucks because they didn't put Dolby Atmos sound on here, but what are you going to do? Um, I still think it's an excellent transfer. Looks great on 4K. And all I'm saying is, if you're on the fence about whether you want to buy it, unless you're like Dirk and you're holding out for a steelbook, I would say go ahead and get it. I mean, it's only 19.99. That's not a real big price to attach to a 4K, especially. Um, Dirk, you say, hell yeah, and I knew Friday the 13th will be coming next year. Cunningham has hinted, and hopefully he's involved in some way. I hope he is. I hope he is. Um, 71, you said that's not a bad price. And you say 72 inch, that's awesome. Yeah, it took me several years before I was able to be able to get that. But me and Steve are enjoying it a lot, and we've got a pretty decent sound system, too. Okay. So I know, or I'm pretty sure it was Dirk that asked me last night if I had had a chance to try this one out, the Fog, which, uh, which, like I said, this is a studio canal transfer, which we all know those studio canal transfers are really good. Steve even raised his eyebrows up when I said studio canal. Um, Um, 71, you say, is that the remake? You mean this? No, this is definitely not the remake. This is the original John Carpenter Fog, not that horrible remake. I definitely wouldn't buy a steelbook and or a 4K of that remake. Um, yeah, that's the OG one. Yep, that's exactly right, Texas. Um, but I mean, this does have cool ass packaging. This is definitely one I wanted to get in the steelbook format. And I've got Army of Darkness coming on or coming later in October, I believe. And I'm getting a steelbook of it as well. 71, you say, I love that version. Me too. Oh, are you saying are you saying I love that version? Are you saying you love this version or the remake? Because TJ has said 71. Are you secretly old curly jaws? LOL joke. Um, Durkee said the fog 4K is great. It's a little dark, but the restoration is awesome. I think the bit darker makes it killer. Yeah, I did notice that last night, and I haven't watched it all yet. But yeah, it is that restoration is awesome. Did you notice the part where the little boy finds, well, he sees the gold coin and then it changes to um, a piece of wood with the partial name of the ship that crashed. I think it wasn't it the Elizabeth Dane or something like that. But the boy sees Dane on there. Did you see how cool that piece of wood looked? I mean, so much detail. And then those beach scenes where he's on the beach running around, absolutely beautiful. The scenes that show the outside of Adrian Barbeau's house. Um, but I do agree that when, like, in the night shots, that some of the scenes are pretty dark, but I do like it. I'm like you. I think it makes it adds an extra level of atmosphere to the movie. So, yes, I would definitely recommend this one, especially if you're a John Carpenter fan. Um, 71, you say, I got the steal 1 years ago of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas, you say, oh, Curly Jaws would shove that up his ass. Uh, okay, 71, you said the original. Yeah, Texas would know. No Curly Jaws. Yeah, dark, I agree. Yes, everything in the daylight is highly detailed. I mean, absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's so beautiful. I was telling Steve today how much I was enjoying it. Yes, the glowing fog shots are badass as well. Yes, they definitely are. Now to cover the weakest of the three. And I'm not saying it looks horrible. Just as far as transfers go, it is definitely the weakest one of the ones I got. And I hate to say it, but it was Fatal Attraction. Um, it has a few, detailed shots, but it's nothing like either Friday the 13th or The Fog. So if you could only buy two out of these three, I would say definitely get Friday the 13th and The Fog. If these were the ones that you were going to get, like I was. Um, but Fatal Attraction is again such a excellent suspenseful movie. I think Glenn Close and Michael Douglas are awesome. I think Ann Archer's awesome. I mean, very very well made thriller, I would say. Um, yeah. So not a bad movie and not a horrible transfer. I just wouldn't expect anything that's gonna knock your socks off or anything. But so I am not anticipating this going on like extremely long. Steve said, "Oh, you're only going to go on for 3 hours." I said, "No, I'm not even going to go anywhere close to that. I don't think." Hmm, Goodness gracious! I may have to get me some more Mountain Dew here in a second. Um, Texas said that's because Paramount keeps bastardizing their catalog. Oh, that's no doubt. That is true. Dargy said Fatal Attraction versus the Jagged Edge. I don't know that I've seen the Jagged Edge. I've seen Fatal Attraction a ton of times. But again, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold up to do this because, like I said, this has been a really rough day as far as exhaustion. I almost didn't do a stream at all, but then I was like, I kind of want to do one. So, I thought, surely now you can come back here and sit for a while. But in addition to being very, very weak and exhausted, my head feels all congested and it makes me dizzy. And so I will carry on as long as I can. And what I kind of wanted to do with this, I mean, we can talk about the uncool thing, or we can talk about, just throw things at the wall and see what sticks kind of thing. Just throw things out there. We can do a little bit of both. And then when I start getting where I think I need to stop, then I will let you guys know. Um, Texas, you say you needed your fix. Yeah, I mean, literally, these live streams are like a damn drug of some sort. I have just become so addicted to them, and even more addicted to them since people have started to want to be on here with me. And so I have that extra added layer of interaction. But oh gosh, I think I really am going to have to get something. Hold on just a second, guys. Oops. I keep doing that. I don't know why I keep doing that. There we go. Oh, I'll get these layouts right eventually. Let's see. Yes, I am, Wes. Dana Lynn is live again. Derek, you said, check it out, Dana. Jeff Bridges and Glenn Close in the same vein as Fatal Attraction. I'm definitely going to have to watch that now. Oh, Lord. Seriously, Wes, y'all watching Teen Mom? What's wrong with you? I'm guessing Sarah likes it. And I like Sarah, so I'm not gonna keep making fun of it. Texas, you say that's cool. So Wes, I'm just in here just doing I basically was talking about how I consider myself an uncool person, but that's okay because um I don't feel like I have to be cool to enjoy myself with horror movies and all that. Um, it's not really important to me to be cool. And I think a lot of us feel the same way. Um, but we're also just doing or I'm doing a stream where it's kind of like throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And I was telling everybody, I said, my health wise, it's been pretty rough this week, and I am totally exhausted now. But yet, I still want to do these streams because I'm addicted to them. Um, Wes, I do think you and Aaron are very cool, but I consider myself that one of the uncool people. Um, and just the point I was bringing up is it's okay if you guys are cool. It's okay if other people are cool. I just don't consider myself cool. TJ, you say the new British Bake Off starts soon. CK, LOL. What she say if I can wake up? Um, I think. Oh, look who's in here. Garrett's in here. Garrett says, cool isn't even cool anymore. Rad is cool now. LOL. That's right, Garrett. You got to be rad. Um, I know Uncle Bill was in here like a few streams ago and somebody was talking about Uncle Rad. And I said, every time somebody calls him Uncle Rad now, it really makes me laugh. And I don't know why. It just, it just strikes me as funny. What'd you say? If I can wake up every morning and take a colon cleansing dump, I'm off to a good start of the day. Well, I guess that would be a good start to your day, wouldn't it? 71, you say, I live on 20 acres in the woods with no one around. I am uncool, lol. I would love that. I've talked about this before. I grew up in a very small town, and I kid that I grew up in the sticks. And, but I really did. I lived out in the boonies. Ask Steve about that. I think I lived more out in the country than Steve could ever dream of living. He grew up in Taylor County in Campbellsville, but I've been to Campbellsville. Campbellsville is not nearly as small, in my opinion, as where I grew up. And I'm not saying the people there are running around in overalls with no teeth and all of that. Um, I'm just saying it's really small. Um, and I consider it even small compared with where Steve grew up. And then, of course, Steve, went and got cityfied. He moved to Louisville, and he'd been in Louisville for years when I met him. And so, I always used to think I want to get away from this country area and go, and be in the city. And now I am in a big city, and I would love to go back and live in the country again. I would love it. If Steve and I weren't tied down by our jobs, that is exactly where I'd like to be. TJ, you said, I was thinking that, Garrett, but I didn't type it fast enough. Ha ha. Texas, you say British Bake Off has Noel Fielding in it, so it'll be fun. Are you saying Garrett likes New Kids on the Block? Well, what's wrong with liking New Kids on the Block, Wes? You say sometimes Rad ain't cool. What about Prestonsburg? I mean, in comparison to where I grew up at, I mean Prestonsburg is small, West, but I still would consider where I grew up smaller. Honestly. Garrett says if Rad likes New Kids on the Block, then that means it's cool now. 71, you say they are here, LOL. Gary, you say, Dana, I like when your dad built your mom that shack in the woods. That's so killer. Yeah, my mom actually has that. She still has her cabin. I didn't even really know if anybody was much paying any attention when I was talking about that. I mean, I know you were paying attention, you guys, but I didn't know, that anybody would remember it at this point. Sometimes I just kind of like free form thinking. I just, or free association or something like that. I just, whatever I think of just kind of comes out of my mouth. So, yeah, mom still got her cabin. She doesn't get up there much anymore, but she still has it. And it was killer. I mean, I liked staying up there with her when I was feeling down and depressed. I would go up there with my mom. Mom says, "Why don't you come up to my cabin with me, and we'll have a weenie roast?" And it was just me and her, no, nobody else, not even my dad. My dad only went up there a few times to the cabin. He likes his house and his TV and all the comforts of home. He didn't want to rough it. Um, TJ, you say, hey, 71, you should make a woods camp style slasher flick with all that force space you got. That would be awesome. Oh, Dirk. Come on. New Kids on the Block was for the chicks, dude, not Rad, bro. I used to be crazy over Kids on the Block. That was my boy band when I was like in middle school. And I liked old Joey McIntyre. He was my favorite new kid. I was just crazy over him. And I remember, I may have told this story before. I remember one Christmas, I think my parents got me like a pillowcase with New Kids on the Block and a nightgown with New Kids on the Block on it. And my dad would kid me, you can sleep with them every night now, Dana. 71, you say at TJ, I could have, they found dead bodies out here like 5 miles up the road. I don't know if speaking of that kind of stuff, ooh, back in 1920, some woman got chopped up out here. I don't know if I ever told this story or not, um, on the streams, but even in my really small place where I grew up, there was a guy there a guy that used to live kind of close to my mom and dad's house. Um, that I guess you could probably refer to him as a serial killer because he um, was accused basically of, doing away with several people. Over the years, there were several people that disappeared and they never found the bodies, but they never found the people alive either. And prior to their disappearance, they'd had associations with this guy. And so the one big death that was attributed to this guy was somebody that my parents knew, like an acquaintance, not like a close friend or anything. But basically, the guy shot the guy, put him in his car, drove him somewhere, poured gasoline all over the car, and burnt the body and the car. Um, and I always thought that was pretty gruesome. And the guy's house, especially after he went to prison, was like the stuff of local legends. That people would talk about. And my dad talked about. He said I could have been one of this guy's victims. Literally, because dad went hunting with him one night. And if that guy had just lost his shit, he could have killed my dad. And my dad might have been one of those missing people that they, were never able to find. They thought one guy might have been buried in the landfill. But they never, or the county dump, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, really gruesome, gruesome type of story. Um, 71, you said the place where her body was found, there's a plot, but the place is probably owned by people with guns, so can't go out there. Um, Gary, you say next time I go see my parents, I should stream from that place. I Well, you know what? That is an idea. I would, of course, have to do it from my phone probably, but I'll think about seeing if I can set something up. But my mom probably won't let herself be on there. She don't even like me taking pictures of her. She's like, Dana, don't take pictures of me and put them on Facebook. Even holidays, she doesn't like me to do that. Uh, well, she says, sounds like a good place to watch the Evil Dead remake. How about the original Evil Dead? I'm gonna have to talk to my mom. I'm gonna say, Mom, they want me to live stream from your cabin and see what she says. Um, well, actually, Wes, if you're talking about the stream that Garrett and Aaron did, um, I didn't get a chance to watch that one, unfortunately. I was feeling so bad last night that I just, after I done my stream, I kind of just went and laid down and watched movies a little bit. But you asked, did I hear Garrett on the stream last night? The Army of Darkness was better than the original Evil Dead. I was like, what? Yeah, I would have been like that too if I'd heard it. I mean, I love Army of Darkness, but Darky say, damn it. Uh, Wedgie say they found skeletal remains of a guy that was missing since 1990 in a car at the bottom of Dewey Lake. He was down there waiting like Jason. Ugh, they found the body just last year. Ew. 71, you say at Dead Pit Radio, did they find him with a fishing thing that shows what's under the water or just random? Darky say, shit, people around here in Shreveport are losing their minds. 2 suicides in a month, both jumped off bridges, random shootings in shopping areas. It's wild out here. Well, I know it's Louisville, Dirk, and I talk about Louisville is not the safest place ever, but um, I think it's gotten worse since I moved here in 2013. Because like was it 2 years ago or something? It was pre-pandemic, of course. This guy that was formerly from our neighborhood, who went off his meds and was able to acquire a gun. His freaking family member gave him a gun. Why on earth he would do something so stupid, I don't know. But he wasn't even supposed to have guns, and a family member gave him one. And so then he turns around and goes to the Kroger's. Steve and I call it the fancy Kroger's here in Louisville, or one of the fancy Kroger's. The ones where they have the sushi bar and all that stuff, and the Starbucks and all that. Well, he basically went up in one of those and shot a guy, I believe, and killed him in front of his grandson. And then went out in the parking lot and shot some woman. And probably if they hadn't got him, he probably would have shot and killed more people. So yeah, I get scared sometimes to go anywhere, to go to the movies, to go grocery shopping, to go to Walmart. I just get these fears. 71, you say, yeah, I thought that was supposed to be a party place. Dirk, you say, yeah, it is, but it's got crazy. I like Meatballs 3. I even like Meatballs 4, Wes, with Corey Feldman in it. Corey freaking Feldman is in Meatballs 4. I mean, I don't think there's any of the Meatballs movies that I actively hate. Of course, the first one's always my favorite, though. But we still got about 10 people in here, and we're like over an hour in. So, Derek, you saying Meatballs 3 is fun? I was trying to think if there was any. I feel like we've had some good, albeit some of them gruesome discussions. Well, she said Meatballs 3 never came out on DVD or anything. It pisses me off. Well, there's a whole bunch of shit that's never came out on DVD or anything that pisses me off, Wes. TJ, you say only because of Shannon Tweed and Sally Kellerman. Did anybody ever, speaking of Sally Kellerman, did anybody ever see that clip of Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater where he had Sally Kellerman on? And she's like basically unbuttoned Joe Bob's shirt, and he looks very uncomfortable. So I was just curious if anybody else had seen that clip, or maybe even seen the actual show that was on. But y'all keep those chat messages coming, because this actually makes me feel a little better when I do these. Dirk, say Porky's is the shit, boss. You know what? I'll tell you a story about Porky's. The first time I watched Porky's, I wasn't a big fan of it. That was a movie that had to grow on me. Like I guess I was more at that point in time a Revenge of the Nerds gal. But upon like a second viewing of Porky's, I really got, I guess at that point in time, I got the humor. It just took me, it took me more than one watch before I was like, hey, yeah, this is a funny movie. I get what Bob Clark is trying to do here. Texas, you say Meatballs 5 with old Curly Jaws, Kitten Natividad, and the Ghost of Kenny Rogers. Police Academy. Oh, awesome. I love Police Academy. I love that, pretty much that whole series of movies too. 71, you say they were the great times when Joe Bob was on late on Saturday nights, I believe. Yeah. Wes, you say I like all of them aside from the last one. Darky say, hell yeah, Police Academy and Night Patrol, LOL. Well, hey, Blair, good to see you in here. Actually, guys, I'm surprised that old Curly Jaws ain't in here tonight. Or Red's not in here. Robert Long's not in here. Um, but perhaps they'll be on one of the. Maybe they'll come to the. Don't you hate it when like it feels like it's itching underneath your thumbnail or your fingernail, and you can't. Of course, you can't reach it to. It's like it's driving me nuts all of a sudden. It's kind of like feeling prickly under there and itching. Well, she said, I have the Police Academy DVD set Warner did. I don't think I have that. I have some of the Police Academies on DVD, I believe, but I don't have that whole set though. Well, he may have, poor guy. Um, I know. I mean, he's a. Honestly, I think old Curly Jaws is. I think he's as good as anybody else on here as far as doing the streams when I've had him on. He's definitely entertaining. It's just like both times he was on here, I think his phone died on him, so he didn't get to stay the full time. But I think Steve's probably, speaking of yummy gummies, I think Steve's going to be the one that partakes of all those gummies. Um, TJ, you say I also like the cheap knockoff Police Academy, Vice Academy with Linnea and Ginger Lynn. Well, at least the first two, at least. I think I may have watched that the first Vice Academy, maybe the second one too, because it seems like I remember watching it. Speaking of Ginger Lynn, um, I believe she was the one. I'm pretty sure she was the one that was at Cinema Wasteland several years ago when probably one of the last times me and Steve went up to Cleveland or Strongsville rather, to Cinema Wasteland. And they had a panel, or maybe not a panel, but Ginger Lynn was up there talking, and she was talking about Ron Jeremy and a bunch of different things about porn, which I wasn't really. I was more interested in when she talked about her life than her talking about the porn films that she was in. But yeah, that when you said Ginger Lynn, that made me think of that year at Cinema Wasteland. Dirk, you say Police Academy on Blu-ray. Is it on Blu-ray now? I can't remember. Well, she say Ginger Lynn still does adult movies. Lord, looks like Mamaw eating a kielbasa. Oh God, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Dirk, you say, oh damn. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of you guys probably, still, you know, maybe not all of you, but the majority of guys will watch porn at some point in time in their lives. I was even, I did not really watch any porn until the advent of the internet, and it got real popular, and not porn but the internet, and internet was more accessible for everybody. I got curious and I looked at some things online, and then but I get bored with it after, you see scene after scene of basically the same stuff. And so once that curiosity wears off, it's like, where can I go with this? I'm done. Um, oh yeah, you might be right, TJ. I get them confused. But yeah, whichever Sally it was, she was basically undressing Joe Bob on camera. Um, well, she's saying until you married Steve, he introduced you to a ton of it. Well, not really, because I mean, he had some, like even on his hard drives, he had some porn. I mean, basically, that's where Steve has it. Has the porn is on his hard drives. And I forget if it was like, I don't even remember what the drive letter was labeled at this point, but I mean, I'm sure he still got it. Um, and probably periodically downloads more, but I just, you know, again, once the curiosity with porn wore off for me, I didn't care to watch it anymore. You say Darcy the Mail Girl is Wild Boss. Are you talking about when she was in porn or just in general, Wes? um, but I love Darcy. Darcy, well, as you got many of you guys know, I named my new little dog Darcy, and she's named after Darcy the Mail Girl. Who Darcy is not her real name, and neither is Diana Prince, of course. I can tell you what her name is because, and some of you may know what her name is, um, but her first name is actually Casey. And I know this primarily. I mean, if you go digging through the internet stuff, the interwebs, you will be able to find that information out anyway. But the easy way that I found out her real name is because she ordered something from my Etsy shop, and when she put her address in there, of course, she put her real name, and so um, yeah, Casey with a K. That's her. That's her. Real name. You said Darky. Say, yeah, Darcy is a super freak. Um, but y'all be careful now because Darcy joined my channel a while back, so let's not offend her now. TJ, you say I haven't seen her movies, but I've seen her Twitter. Less filler. LOL. um, what did she say? Her movies are entertaining. How many of her movies have you seen, Wes? And also, speaking of Darcy, I still want to get her on here as a guest at some point. And now that I'm using StreamYard primarily, that'll be a lot easier for me to do. Um, I'm thinking about sending her a message through Patreon for the Lost Drive-In Patreon here again soon to see if I can maybe get something scheduled. I know a lot of you would be interested in hearing her speak on a live stream, um, and being able to kind of ask her questions. If I do, if I am able to get her on, I will reiterate that I think all of you guys will be kind and polite and gentlemanly. But I just want to ask again that everybody not like, I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't mind you asking about some of the porn movies, but just let's not be overly vulgar or anything. Like, tell her what, show us your ass, show us your tits. I just want us to be respectful to her, and not go that route. So, just a little cautionary thing, in case I'm able to get her on. TJ, you say Rusty and Darcy are my fave male girls. Rusty still looks damn good. So does Honey. Honey does look really good. We actually saw the first How Redneck Saved Hollywood show that me and Steve went to here in Louisville. We actually saw Honey. And then also Honey was she on the last season of the last drive-in? Or was it the one before that? But I know she was on there at least once. And Rusty, I really liked her as well. I mean, I even liked Reno. I mean, I thought Reno added something to the show when she was on there as well. She wasn't on there too awfully long, but I enjoyed her too. TJ, you say anyone see Darcy drunk explaining the Scream series and how much she loves the movies on YouTube? Um, I don't think I watched it, TJ, but I did see that it was on there because I subscribed to her channel. Um, and actually, you mentioned Rusty and Honey. Um, I actually named my guinea pigs Rusty and Honey. Rusty is, of course, the reddish brownish colored one, and Honey is the like black and brown and white one. Um, so yeah, I probably need to watch the Darcy thing. I mean, I think I've seen where she interviewed Clint Howard at one time, and some other things on there, and I like her channel. I wish she was able to put more stuff on there. Yeah, funny that both of the male girls became lawyers. Um, TJ did actually, speaking of the male girls, did you see the stream that I did talking about Joe Bob's male girls? And actually, Darcy commented on it. Um, so if you haven't seen that, you might want to check that out. Durkee said the last drive-in last season was the last time I'll drive in. I canceled Shutter. Not going to say too much. Just say I'm old school and Joe Bob let me down. Really, Dirk? So you're not going to get Shutter anymore? Because I do think Joe Bob, the last drive-in show, um, has been a big draw for Shutter. Well, I hate that though, Dirk. Um, I don't know that I would be able to, but I would like to have Joe Bob on. Um, it would be really awesome to be able to have Joe Bob and Darcy on here live. Um, but so Dirk, I'm going to put your message up here. So you say I'm old school and Joe Bob let me down. I mean, are you at liberty to say how he let you down? Was it something he said in one of his rants or the wraparound stuff, or was it the movies he was showing? Or I mean, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm just curious. TJ, you said no, I didn't see it, but yeah, I'll definitely check that out, Damien. Yeah, I also did. I talked about the first season and the specials, and that went on a long, a long ass time. I think it went on for like 4 hours or something like that when I did that one. Um, Hold on just a second here. I can probably, in case you didn't want to sift through all of my videos. Oh, I did talk about the last drive-in season 2, but I guess that was the last one I did. And I don't think y'all want to hear my loud mouth on there, so. But I'm going to put the link for the Joe Bob's Mail Girls in the chat there, TJ. So if you just want to go to that one in particular. Dougie say, I think he just sold out. He ain't the same Joe Bob. Now, do you mean from last season or just overall? Or was it a gradual thing? TJ, you said, by the way, Darcy was drunk, but she got really emotional and real. It was very interesting. She seems cool and should write a book. TJ, actually, you saying that remind me, like, especially during the Christmas shows, both Darcy and Joe Bob really get emotional. I really thought Joe Bob was going to cry on at least a couple of those. Um, and especially when he talks about his dad who has passed away and stuff like that. You are welcome, TJ. Um, and the reason why I did that link, like I said, is because I mean, it's not like I got a million videos now, but if you just want to watch one particular one, people don't want to go and sift through all those videos to find one that they really want to watch. Um, Dirk, you felt like last season he was pandering, like pandering to a certain audience, or like he was maybe. I'm just trying to get a better perspective on it, because maybe I need to go back and watch the last season again. Um, but sometimes I feel like Joe Bob might be at the mercy of Shutter at some points. I'm totally not excusing anything that he may have done or said. I'm just saying, as far as like movie choices, I think sometimes um, he doesn't have as much control as we would like to think he does. Um, and that's unfortunate, but I think that probably has happened at some points in time with every show that he's done. Um, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to go against what you're saying, Dirk, at all. It's just I find it hard to not like Joe Bob, but I have said this about my other some of my other heroes. I've said it a bunch of times about Sam Raimi, how I feel like Sam Raimi in some respects he sold out. Which makes me sad because um, it seems like Sam Raimi has forgotten his roots. I'm not saying I'm not going to get up here and get on my soapbox and talk about how the Evil Dead fans made him, but they kind of did. Um, and Evil Dead was a way for him to get noticed and eventually get enough popularity that somebody took notice of his directing style. Um, but I guess Hollywood's gain was the true Evil Dead fans' loss. Um, because in my opinion, when they started having him do these superhero movies, although like I said, I like the new Doctor Strange that he did. Um, when he first started doing that, that was the beginning of the end, essentially. At that point, I was pretty well sure. At that point in time, I had a little bit of hope left, but that we were never going to see another Evil Dead movie from him alone. Heck, he might produce one or executive produce one, but he's never going to make one himself again. So, um, I'm going to run Dirk off if I keep asking him these pointed questions. If I make you feel uncomfortable, Dirk, just leave it alone, Dana. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But I always like to get a different perspective on things because there's things that other people see that I don't see. And so that's really why I'm asking these kind of pointed questions. Hey, X-Ray. You say, shit, what I miss? Well, we just been talking back and forth, talking about different things, kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Um, And I'm probably going to go on a few more minutes here before I get off of here. Like I said earlier, I didn't intend for this one to be very long. I just wanted to do something tonight. Like Steve used to tell me, doing commentaries was my therapy. Well, sometimes doing these streams is my therapy. It gives me a chance to just forget about if I've had a rough day. Once I get on here and rant about a little bit and then move on to talking about movies or something else, I always feel better. Um, TJ, you say, like when Joe Bob was talking about indie filmmakers last year, I heard about that, but not the details. Missed that episode. Ah, yeah. I do remember him talking about that. Yeah, X-ray. They really are. I mean, and as long as I'm not doing anything illegal or profane or libelous, I guess would be the three things that you wouldn't want to do. Um, but yeah, within the context of YouTube policies, it, they are like little vlogs for venting. If you want to vent about something, you vent about it. Dirk, you say, I just see Joe Bob as selling out. Can't really go into it, but he definitely ain't the same. And most of the movies were not last drive-in movies, in my opinion. Oh well, I get that, Dirk, about I thought that too. It's like, but I think in that case it's another one of those things where he's at the mercy of Shutter and at the mercy of what Shutter can get. And so I would place some of that blame on Shutter for maybe not trying harder to get more drive-in movies. Um, and I'm not saying some of it isn't Joe Bob's decision, but I think on the other side of that coin, there are probably some cases where they say, here's what you got. This is what we've got licensed. Take your pick. So, but yeah, I totally get that. Actually, you say, Joe Bob's like 90 years old. Let him enjoy the paycheck. At least he isn't woke yet. Yeah, X-ray. He is not woke yet. Dark, you say, or I should say, Joe Bob movies. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's been covering, like the last season or so, would not be the type of stuff that Joe Bob from Drive-In Theater, Joe Bob from Monster Vision, um, uh, the Joe Bob that wrote Joe Bob Goes to the Drive-In, Joe Bob Goes Back to the Drive-In. Unfortunately, though, I think the days of those type of pure movies like that are gone. Um, and like I said, Dark, I'm not trying to totally defend him completely 100% for choices that he may or may not have made. I mean, I'm sure some of the choices were his. Um, but unfortunately, we're in a time period where there's only so many of these pure, what I call like pure movies, the ones that we always want to go back to, the ones that are our comfort zone, etc., etc. They're becoming few and far between. I mean, we can watch them ourselves over and over again, but unfortunately, I don't see these channels, even streaming channels like Shutter, who are said to cater to horror fans. I am seeing this more and more. They might cater to horror fans, but they're not us. You know what I mean? It's not the core group like that's in here, or that might watch the Dead Pit streams, or might watch Garrett streams, or one of the many other streamers out there. Um, we traditionally are an old school group. And I did find it sad, some of the choices that were on the last drive-in. I'm not gonna lie. Um, when the last drive-in, that first marathon, I think they killed it with the choices that they had. And they kind of, as Wes would probably say, they blew their load with that marathon. And now they're kind of, it's getting to the point where they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit. Um, yeah, TJ, I do too. You say you get what Dirk is saying. Also, there was one movie that he really wanted to show and said ahead of time he knew some people would hate the movie or it wouldn't fit the driving aesthetic. Oh, Texas, I agree with that too. I am almost 100% certain that Shutter makes him promote some of their movies. Um, and as much as I hate to say this, I have to say it. I don't think Joe Bob has as much clout as he once did. Um, and again, I think a lot of times he's at the mercy of these, in this case, a streaming service. He's at the mercy of whatever they want to lay down, whatever policies and guidelines and what have you that they want to lay down. Durkee said, I know a lot of people will be Joe Bob diehards, and that's cool. I just had to tune out. That's all. And that is cool. That is cool, Dirk. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on that as much as you could share it. I just didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable by, by keep asking questions. TJ, you say not to belittle anyone, but I'm getting it free through a buddy's account, which I think they're going to nix eventually. They want the individual sub bucks. Yeah, I mean a lot, and I don't think you're belittling anybody, TJ. A lot of people are doing that. The for free deals. You know, uh, a lot of people say, get all the for free you can. And sometimes I think that you should, because for every free thing we get, somebody somewhere has ripped us off in another way. So I say get some of the free stuff while you can. X-Ray, you say you used to show stuff he wouldn't necessarily want to show even back in the TNT days. Yeah. And I think probably the TNT stuff, the Monster Vision stuff. I think Ted Turner pretty much put the screws to him later on. I think when he started out doing Monster Vision, um, I think Joe Bob had the upper hand at least for a little while. I mean, the first time I discovered Joe Bob on Monster Vision, he was showing The Beast Within. And that, to me, The Beast Within is a classic horror movie, a drive-in type of movie, through and through. But then as the years went on and they kept changing the day and time that Joe Bob was going to be on. They changed it to Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night for a while. Um, I thought that was the beginning of the end for, I was like, he ain't going to be on TNT much longer. And I was right. Dirk, you said no, not at all. So I'm glad I didn't make you feel uncomfortable. Actually, you said Ted Turner was Vince, Joe Bob was Stone Cold. And I think, that Halloween special they had, even though a lot of it was in good humor and stuff, I think that was really saying a lot about where Joe Bob and Ted Turner stood at that time, or how they felt about each other at that time. Just, you know, you can say you can only take the humor and stuff so far. There's always a little bit of truth in that stuff. Actually, you say, I think Joe Bob may have put the screws to Jane Fonda behind the scenes, if you know what I mean. Ooh, I don't know. TJ, you say Vince ain't Vince anymore. LOL. Um, so, guys, I may try to stay on here till 10, maybe 9:45. It depends on how much my energy holds out. So, if you got anything you want to bring up in these last few minutes, feel free to do so. Again, I've had a lot of fun tonight. Even though we are missing some of our core people. And I was surprised nobody wanted to be on the stream with me tonight. But I'm hoping that we'll have several for the watch along Saturday. And a reminder that, again, that's at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, X-ray, you say going to work, have had a shit schedule lately. Night, Daner. Night, X-ray, and don't work too hard. That sucks. I wouldn't want to go to work at this time of night. But again, I would like to say that anytime I do these live streams, any of you guys that want to come on, even in an audio only capacity, are more than welcome to. I know y'all probably get tired of hearing me say this, but I'm so excited since I switched to can't even talk, StreamYard. How easy, and Wes is going to be like, I told you over and over how easy it was to add somebody. But now that I know how easy it is with StreamYard, I'm just kind of wanting to invite everybody on or get as many people on here as we can. So I would like to extend the open invitation to anybody that would like to, that feels comfortable doing so. You don't have to be on camera, I promise. Dirk, you say, I'll say Commander USA hardly ever gets talked about to me. That's the best horror host of all time. I haven't seen much of Commander USA, to be honest, Dirk. I need to try watching him though. Darren, you say, or TJ, you say Darren needs sleep with the 2 to 3 a.m. UK time he does on the stream. Yeah, I don't know how he is on as many of my streams as he is, and how he's able to come on live and is, just doesn't even act like he's tired. Well, hey, it's old Curly Jaws. Hey, buddy. I hear somebody back there. Oh, I think it's Darcy. Darcy, you want to say hello? Come here, little girl. I don't know how many of y'all have seen my Darcy. This is my girl. She's named after Darcy the mail girl, aren't she? Huh? She's a baby girl. Yes, I know. I don't know. The dogs seem to kind of get nervous whenever I put them on camera. Reg sometimes will raise up here and be on the camera. Well, thank you, TJ. TJ says you're a cute pupper. What do you think of that? She's such a good girl. Yeah. But, I like to have my buddies on here sometimes. My furry buddies. She's probably wanting me to go lay down. She looks sleepy. Are you sleepy? She usually, what she does is she'll go lay down with Steve for a little bit, and then she'll come in here with me. And she is, I don't know if y'all can tell, but she's mostly dachshund, but we think she may have a little chihuahua in her as well. Oh, no, 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 no. I think she wants me to put her down. Want me to put you down, Doris? Okay. Um, TJ, you say Commander USA, Legion of Decency retired. Used to love that show. Oh no, curly jaws. No, I don't need a spider. I can't do that. I'll stick with my, my snakes, my lizards, rats, my guinea pigs, my birdies. Yeah, all of that, but no spiders. Whew, man. Dougie say, "Oh, Curly, what's happening? Hope you got some Visine from those classics you watch, brother." Ah, I'm so glad old Curly Jaws has a sense of humor because I know I give him a hard time too sometimes. But it's like I always say, it's good natured ribbing. Oh, goodness. Uh, what about a scorpion? Well, I would probably rather have a scorpion than I would a spider. There are actually some pet smarts that sell scorpions as pets. Not any around here, but evidently some of them do. Some of them somewhere. But I don't know if because in like the sting from a scorpion, isn't it very venomous? I mean, um, so wouldn't they have to remove that from the scorpion? And I didn't know, health wise, what that would do, or are you just not supposed to touch the damn thing? I don't know exactly how that works. Oh, curly jaws, you say I had three. They're cool. So you had three spiders or three scorpions? Darcy said that'd be killer. But I'm thinking, this is coming to my head. I was talking to Wes the other day, and he was like saying, now you can put your green screen on StreamYard. And I did see that. But I just, like I told Wes, I haven't had a chance to really try it out yet. So I may try to sometime soon, maybe sometime after we did the watch along, um, have the return of the green screen. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say two tarantulas and two scorpions. So, I mean, do they remove the venom from the scorpions, or do they just leave it in there and then you're just not supposed to touch them or handle them or anything like that? I just didn't know how that worked for sure. I didn't know what they did with the tarantulas either, although I think that the tarantulas they usually sell as pets are like have very little venom in them, I think. But there is a really aggressive form of tarantula, like some of the ones that they had on Kingdom of the Spiders, that are very venomous and will bite your ass repeatedly. So I definitely wouldn't want to deal with those. I've been accidentally bit by my ball python a couple of times. Of course, he's not a venomous snake and it doesn't really hurt all that much, but I don't want to repeat that. And it was an accident. He was not angry with me. Um, it was, I had touched like his food, or I had touched my live rats or something and had that scent on me. And I accidentally stuck my hand down in this tank with that scent and he struck my hand. But it was like when he did it, he kind of backed off because he was like, oh shit, I bit her. I didn't bite my food. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say, I think they removed the poison sac from the scorpion, that super Vietnam scorpion. They wanted like 130 for that chair. Been to the Green Tree Pet Center in Clarksville, Indiana. That's pretty cool. Um, I've never been there. Um, Maybe I could get Steve to take me sometime, but he'd probably be saying, Dana, you're not getting any more pets. He's already told me I can't have any more. TJ, you said when they make a robot scorpion, I'm getting one. I'm still, speaking of robots, I'm still, and call me crazy if you guys want to, but I'm still wanting to get that Astro, the Amazon Astro robot. Right now, it's still invitation only. Um, but I put in for another invitation, but I'm trying to wait until Amazon offers the monthly payments again. Right now, they're only offering a firm for a lot of things, and I can't get approved for a firm because, and I'm not afraid to say this, I have a bankruptcy still on my record that hasn't fallen off yet, and so a firm won't approve me for anything, even a small amount. Oh, I love crawfish. I love crawfish. But again, Steve would probably say, Dana, I told you, no more pets. So I guess I'll probably stay on here about 10 more minutes to till 10 o'clock and then get off of here. Um, Turkey say around here we eat them crawdads. Yeah, a lot of people do. Like, have you ate frog legs also, Dirk, and catfish and all that stuff? Um, I do not have any pet fish. I haven't had any pet fish for years, oh curly jaws, and here's why. I never had good luck with fish. Something would always happen to my fish. Invariably, it was something was going to happen. Um, and I'm not just talking about those little goldfish you could win at the fairgrounds. They always died. But I had a big, pretty decently sized aquarium, not a huge one, when I was living with my parents. And um, I don't know if you guys are familiar with black mollies. But I had a little bitty black molly and I had some other, kind of neutral fish that wouldn't fight in the same tank. So I didn't have a cover on this tank because I didn't even think about it. Well, one day I noticed my black molly was not in the tank, and I was like, what, did one of the other fish turn carnivorous and turn into a cannibal and like eat the black molly because it was so small? I had no idea. Well, a couple weeks later, I was laying on my bed and I found the black molly. The black molly had evidently flipped up out of the tank, landed on my bedspread, and dried up and died. So I was devastated. The poor black molly leaped up out of the tank, landed in my bedspread, and died, unfortunately. And then the final fish that I had in that tank, um, I had a heater running and we lost electricity during a winter storm or maybe the year of the ice storm or something. No, maybe it wasn't then. But anyway, we lost electric for a length of time, and evidently that was too much for my final fish. And he passed away. So yeah, I don't have any fish anymore. Oh, curly jaws, you say frog legs are dope. I used to love frog legs. Dirk, you say, oh hell yeah, frog legs. I mean, I did. I used to love them. My dad used to go frog gigging. There's some country terminology for you there. He'd go out at night and take his gig and basically stab those frogs. Um, but I know one year when me and my cousin Heather were kids, They had a frog jumping contest at the museum in Owensboro. And so I went to visit her. She lived in Utica at the time. And um, well, her family lived in Utica for a lot of years. My Aunt Pam and Uncle Jim have since moved out of the Utica area and built them or had a new house built for them. So my Aunt Pam was finally able to get her dream house. But back in the days I'm talking about, they still lived in Utica. And I was visiting Heather, and Utica's just outside of Owensboro in Davis County. And so my Aunt Pam would take me and Heather to the museum in Owensboro a lot in the summer because they were always having some kind of event going on. Well, anyway, they had a frog jumping contest, and my dad actually got a couple of bullfrogs for me and Heather to use in the frog jumping contest, and for my brother and my cousin Clayton to use in the frog jumping contest. And I think Jason and Clayton's frog won. I think there's one because I think I remember them getting a trophy for that. But yeah, the things you remember. Yeah, I was pretty devastated, TJ. You say poor Molly Fishy. Also sounds like a drug from the 60s, LOL. Yep, pretty much. But we got a few more minutes here before I'm going to have to get off here and like take my shower. And I may get me out some soup because my head is still feeling really congested, and hot soup just sounds really good right now. Um, so I'll stay out here about 5 more minutes. So if y'all want to bring up anything in this last 5 minutes, speak now or forever hold your peace. Um, TJ, you said, by the way, enjoy the stream Saturday. I didn't see Butcher Burger till just recently when Joe Bob showed it. Yeah, TJ, you said you weren't going to be able to come because you're seeing Fabio Fritzi live, right? I'm so jealous of that, though. I am, believe it or not, old curly jaws, and I'm excited for Pearl too. Steve told me it was coming out this weekend, so I kind of want to see. I kind of want to go see Pearl at the movies. I don't know if Steve's gonna do it or not. Oh, but anything else anybody wants to throw out there in these last 4 minutes? Feel free to put any suggestions. We've talked about future suggestion or future stream ideas. We've been tossing ideas around. I've been writing things down, so if anybody has anything, just let me know. uh, Durgy said we have the Ghost House Girl Cult episode up on Dead Pit Patreon. I listened to it yesterday. Did we sound good, Dirk? I probably sound like an idiot, but I'm sure you guys sounded good. TJ, you say, I am. I'll put up pics on my Instagram and link it to the chat next time I'm on if anyone wants to see. Oh, yeah, heck yeah. I think everybody would love to see that. Curly Jaws, you say, probably see Pearl this weekend. Yeah, I'm hoping me and Steve can because I just like, since I've been feeling so bad, I'm just starting to get house burnt and stuff. And I just want to kind of do something. Um, I know I get tired real easily lately, but I still want to get out and do things. Anybody else going to see Pearl this weekend? I think actually I may try to watch the rest of the Fog 4K while I'm having my soup and all that stuff. So, well, we got a couple more minutes. Probably thinking, dang, you just drag this out, don't you? Texas, you say I'm going to try. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. Of course, if Steve says, we won't get to. Dirk, you say over on my channel on Pop's Movie Dungeon next Saturday night we have episode 5 and the top 5 movies from 96 to 2000. So yes, definitely. If anybody wants to promote anything that they're doing, anything that's coming up, feel free to put that in the chat, and I will definitely try to help you promote it. Those um, things that you guys have been doing are really a lot of fun and interesting, and you guys are very entertaining, Dirk, all of you guys. And I think you mesh really well together. I think I said that before, but I don't know if I said it when you were in here particularly. Curly Jaws, you say, do you think it's just going to be the trilogy or anything? There's more from this franchise from Ty West. I don't know. That's actually what I was asking Steve, and he was like, I don't know. Um, and then I said, well, it probably depends on how much money these other two make. Um, uh, is the indicator of whether they'll continue or not. Dirk, you say it'll be next Saturday night at 10 o'clock. All right, cool. Eastern Standard Time. You're very welcome, Dirk. And with all that being said, guys, it is now 10 o'clock. And so, as always, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, even though we've still got 7 people in here. Went on just a little bit over 2 hours. This has been another fun one. Sometimes I like to have these ones where it's not really anything structured. We just kind of throw things out there and discuss things. So, been a lot of fun. I'd like to do one of these types of streams again sometime soon. What she say? Don't skedaddle, pal. But anyway, thank you guys all again for showing up and hanging out with me for a couple of hours. Good night, old curly jaws. And good night, TJ. He says good night, cool and shiny people. So as I always say as well, I will see everybody on the flip side. You guys have a good night now. Thank you, Texas.